Hello students, welcome to our session. And today we are going to learn about the chapter number 9. The topics in this chapter we have about the respiration. All living things, if the things want to live on the earth, then they have doing the breathing. In breathing system, they take in oxygen and take out carbon dioxide. We all know about this respiration method. uh, as we all know, if we want to do any kind of work, then we need energy. And how we will get this energy? We will get this energy from by eating the healthy food. If we get healthy food, then we will get the all types of nutrients in our body which are very useful to do any kind of work. Because if we have no energy, if you have no energy, then you cannot and I am not able to do any kind of work. If we want to do any kind of work, then we will get energy for this. We want energy for doing work. For example, if we do not do any kind of work, we sit only on our place, then whatever we have not doing any kind of work, but our internal parts doing their work. For example, our breathing system is also going on. Then our other parts also doing their work for also digested our food. The digestion process also going. So all these process want energy in our body. If we want to do any kind of work, then our body also want to do any kind of work. They will get and they will want energy. The process respiration method. In respiration method, all living things, all organisms which live on earth, they all do this for live their life. So why do living organisms respire? Why do living organisms respire? Now you have understand about the living things and non-living things, because you have already learned about this in your previous classes, also previous standards also. So all living things doing breathe. They take in they take in oxygen and take out carbon dioxide. So all living organisms respire. Why they do like this? Why do living organisms respire? In order to maintain life, maintain to itself, move, excrete, growth, many methods, many processes which can living organisms can do. For doing this all processes, they want to respire. They want to respire. Living organism must be supplied with must be supplied energy in their body, because we want to do any kind of work, then we want energy. The ultimate sources of energy is sunlight. The sun is the ultimate source of sunlight, because the sunlight is very useful to us. Also the plants, photosynthesis will be going on. They want sun for this process. They use sunlight, water and carbon dioxide for doing this process. Carbon dioxide they will get from us, from human, from animals. They get sunlight from the sun and water from the soil. After doing photosynthesis, they make food, and then they store this food in their cells. Some animals, human beings, eat this grass and they get the cellulose which have already stored and in the plants. We have a cycle, respiration cycle. In this cycle, you can see animal, human being, any type, using we crops, using different types of crops as our food. We eat plants. Then after, we will release carbon dioxide. The carbon dioxide will be used by the trees doing the photosynthesis process. Doing the photosynthesis process, they release oxygen, and we get oxygen for our breathing system. So, like using different processes, the respiration cycle is going on between us. Respiration occurs all the time as long as organisms lives. It is taken as an index of life. No respiration means no life. If any person will die, then that means the respiration will not used by them. If the person want to live in of her whole life of the any organism live, they use the respiration process, the process of breakdown of food in the cell with the release of energy. Breakdown of the any foods the cells released with the energy is called the respiration, or cellular respiration is occurs inside the cell or organisms. Now, types of respiration. We have two main types of respiration. You can see here, I have also written here the types of the respiration: aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. In respiration, we can see they have two types: aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. Now, about the aerobic respiration, when the breakdown of food substances take place in the presence of oxygen. Respiration, that means the breakdown of food substances. The breakdown of the food substances takes place present in the oxygen. When this process is going on, the oxygens will be present, then it is called the aerobic respiration. We have also equation for this. You can see here, food plus oxygen. Food will be breakdown in the presence of oxygen and release energy plus CO2 plus water. This equation also proves that when the food is breakdown in the presence of oxygen, then it will be released energy, CO2 and water. This is called the aerobic respiration. In aerobic respiration, the food will be breakdown in the presence of oxygen. Most animals, including human and green plants, respire aerobically. Most human beings and also plants doing this process. The term aerobic is used to describe the such organisms are used in this process. Anaerobic respiration. In anaerobic respiration, the food will be breakdown also, but in the absence of, there is no presence of oxygen required. There is an absence of oxygen this process will be going on. As in aerobic we use the oxygen, but in anaerobic food, in the absence of oxygen, energy plus alcohol plus CO2. Energy, alcohol plus CO2. The process in which the oxygen will be absent, this is called the anaerobic. Anaerobic respiration is more efficient than aerobic. One is more energy is produced during the aerobic respiration. Energy will be also produced in this, but the absence of oxygen is differ from the aerobic respiration. Always remember, aerobic respiration, that means the food will be breakdown. There is oxygen is present, but in anaerobic, when the food is breakdown, oxygen will be absent there. Anaerobic respiration in humans also done. Anaerobic respiration almost done in the some types of yeast cells. In these bacteria, we can see this process, but sometimes it is also going on in humans body, but not a long time. It is only for a short time. It takes place in our muscles when our body undergoes vibration, muscular activity during heavy exercise. For example, when we running, when we doing exercise, when we do any heavy work, then this process also going on in human body. And they have also given equation for this. The food in muscular cells, lactic acid plus energy, the one type of acid is produced there and energy will be also produced in human body. Anaerobic most of going on in bacteria, but we can see also some types also at some time it will be going on human body when we do any heavy work. Okay, so there is a difference between aerobic and anaerobic. What is the difference? The first, aerobic, it occurs in the presence of oxygen. Anaerobic, it occurs in the absence of oxygen. Food is completely broken down into carbon dioxide and water. Food is completely broken down in CO2, that means carbon dioxide and water, and release energy. Anaerobic, much less energy is produced compared to aerobic. Then we have overall equation. Here also the equation is differ from each other. Here the oxygen is present, and here in the absence of oxygen this process will be going on. So aerobic and anaerobic have some difference compared to them. Then process of respiration. Process of respiration, that means the breathing. There are two main stages in this process: breathing and cellular respiration. Breathing, the intake of oxygen and take out the carbon dioxide. This process is called the breathing system. In cellular respiration, the process in which food molecules are broken down into simpler molecules within the cell using oxygen and releasing energy. This is called the cellular respiration. Almost the breathing is we have also some difference between them. First, breathing, it is the physical process of exchanges of gases. Which gases? Carbon dioxide and oxygen. In cellular, it is the chemical process in which food molecules are broken down into carbon dioxide and water. Then in breathing, you can see it occurs outside the cell. Breathing occurs outside the cell. It occurs inside the cell. Cellular respiration, it occurs inside the cells. No energy is released when the breathing system going on. Energy is released when cellular respiration is going on. So there is a difference between them. We have also about this in our textbooks. You can read it and try to understand more about this. Then breathing system. Breathing system. Any human being will take in oxygen, take out carbon dioxide. This process is called the breathing system. Inhalation and exhalation. Inhalation, that means they take in oxygen and take out carbon dioxide. The process of breathing system, all living organisms, if they want to live on the earth, they doing this process, and during this process they take in oxygen from the plants, from the trees, and take out carbon dioxide. Breathing continues throughout the life of an organism, because if we stop our breathing system, then we will die, because it is necessary for us to breathing now continuous, because our body need continue oxygen to breathe. It continues without any break all the time. It is thus a continuous process. Never breathing system never be stopped, because if we stop this process, then we will die. And for this they have given us the activity 9.1. In this activity, you can see to hold the breathe and find out the time for which one can hold it. Try to hold both. First, you close your nostril and then mouth also. Close your nostrils and mouth tightly as shown in the figure from your book. Hold your breath and hold your breath. Note down what will be happen. How did you feel after some time? The time for which you were able to keep both the nostril and mouth closed for some time like this. Then, now release your mouth. What will happen? What do you observe? When you open your nostril and mouth, you will find out that hold your breath only for a short time. When you release your nostril and open your mouth, you start breathing at a fast rate, because we cannot live without oxygen. So breathing system is continuous going on. Only for us, not only all living organisms will live on earth. They need this process continuous for their life. Breathing rate. What is a breathing rate? The number of times a person breathes in a minute. The number of breathing a person doing in a minute is termed as breathing rate. For a normal individual person, the breathing rate is different from each other. At a normal rate is 12 to 18 times per minute. For a 1 minute we doing this 12 to 18 minutes, but it is not same as all conditions. Sometimes if we do any hard heavy work, then our breathing system will be fast there and the breathing rate be increased there. It varies according to the requirement of oxygen by the body. So breathing rate is depend on our require of the oxygen in our body. The requirement of oxygen depend on the physical activity. Breathing rate increases during heavy work. When we do any heavy work, the breathing rate is increases. For example, a person running fast, doing exercise, it may go up to 25 times per a minute. Normal rate is 12 to 18 times per a minute, but if we do any heavy work, it increases and that take place on the 25 times per minute. Breathing slows down during sleep. Breathing slows down during sleep because when we sleep, we do not do any kind of work, so the breathing rate is going on slow there. Fast breathing during heavy physical activity produces more energy because the process will be going fast to break down the food, so they produce the more energy. As a result of faster breathing, more oxygen becomes available to the body cells and more food is broken down to produce more energy. How? When we do any heavy work, the breathing rate is increases, the energy will produce more. So because of this, the oxygen we will get more in rate. You can also perform for this. They have given activities for this on your in your textbooks on page number 138. To find out the breathing rate during different physical activities, they tell us to doing different physical activities: sleeping, studying, walking slowly, running fast, jumping, playing football. You have to perform doing activities and rate of breathing. When we will observe this activity, we will find out the breathing rate is different according to our physical activity, but because not all activity want same amount of oxygen, they differ from each other according to our breathing rate. Hope now you will understand about the respiration method, how oxygen is very useful to. We all know oxygen is very useful to us, but when we get when we want more oxygen, and how we will get this inside the cells, also the some processes will be going on, they all need energy. Okay, so types of respiration, we have two types of respiration: aerobic and anaerobic. Aerobic, that means the food will be break down in the presence of oxygen. Anaerobic, that means the oxygen will be absent there. Both reproduce energy, but they have different in the way. In aerobic, the oxygen will be present. In anaerobic, the oxygen will be absent. Then process of respiration, breathing. Then we have also cellular respiration. It will be going on outer of our body, inside of our body. Then breathing rate depend our work, the breathing rate will be going on. Normal breathing rate is 12 to 18 per minute, but we will do any kind of work, it will be go on 25 per minute. So our some topics is clear here. Some topics are clear here. Now we will meet in our next session with our new topics.